just go through a uh, a few numbers. I'm going to talk some of the challenges, some of the things that we're seeing, um, and then just have open and honest conversation about everything with pets and the risks that come with pets, some of the opportunities that come with it, and then I'm going to let Brady end it. Brady is owner of Legacy Flooring. That is who we go through for all of our flooring. Um, they've been a great partner of ours for years now. They have saved our bacon. They save you more money than I think you realize when you see the bill. But we're large enough now. I get shopped all the time from carpet vendors and flooring vendors, and as we worked on expansion, like they've been a huge partner, and they're even able to help us with our stuff that we're doing up north in Salt Lake and Utah counties, because of the pricing they do and the way they're able to facilitate and just the level of service. So, like, I'm grateful for Brady. I know we had advertised Rob, but then it just happened after we had everything finalized that he got word that today's the day his daughter was going to the MTC. So we figured we'd let it slide if he wanted to prioritize his family just this once. Brady's family hates him, so he's always available. So we were good there. But with that, let me just share this. Everything, all the statistics and stuff you're going to get is based on this report. It was done in 2021, pet inclusive housing report. Done by the Mickelson Found Animals. It has a lot of data for owners and tenants and what they're wanting and pluses and minuses. I'm going to walk you through some of the protections we have in place. I'm going to share a couple TikToks that is all true within the last couple of years that we've had to work through, and I can tell you the stories behind them. But as always, when it comes to pets or not pets, like, I leave that up to the owner. My job is to educate you guys, and then you make the best decision for you and your properties. So I'm going to actually, I'm going to start with these videos, change it up. So the majority of issues and stuff that we've had with pets have been with pets that are not sanctioned, not allowed, not approved. We've only had in the last 3 years that I can remember 2 issues with pets that we knew were there. So first one, this just kind of, we'll go through kind of the level of service we're willing to give. So this one was at a rental that the owner or the tenant was having medical procedures, and there was a lot of health issues and stuff. And so to help him out, like, he was like, the dog was crated and stuff. So we'd actually, and he was just had no other help and background. So we would go once or twice a day to let the dog out and get it to stretch its legs and everything, so that we knew the apartment was going to be taken care of and the dog is healthy and strong. We're all animal lovers here in our office. And then, so that's just what we do. Then some surprises. This one, if John's still on, we had a rental that the neighbors had accused the students of having a chicken and a duck. We had what we refer to as a narc in the property, and he let us know everything. And so, like, I swore to John that we didn't have a chicken in the backyard. And then we went and checked on something else and went in the backyard, and then sure enough, there was a chicken and duck. So we luckily they were all kept on the outside, but we had to get rid of them. This is the downside of student housing, is some of the stories. Then you have some nice cats. This one, usually the tenants are a little smarter. Oh, that one's not one. Yeah. A little smarter if they know the pet. Oh, that doesn't want to play. Doesn't have a pet approval. that they hide their pets. Apparently, this one didn't get the memo, so I walked in and the cat came and said hi, which made for a really awkward inspection because the cat was really friendly. There was no cat damage, but that was a nice surprise. And then this was the last one. This is by far the worst one we had. This all happened. I was in this unit 3 months before this happened, and we got a call from the Beaver County Sheriff. The tenant had had a mental health crisis, and she was working through stuff. And to try to work through it, she was trying to foster dogs and cats that were stray and couldn't foster them off. And so this was what was done in 3 months. I had to go buy a hazmat suit and a mask and gloves and muck boots. Um, the only saving grace is we knew we had to update this unit anyways after she moved out. Um, so this is some of the risks that we deal with. And once again, this was like in 3 months. The we had to get yeah, it was I had to play the music because the language that was being muttered came through louder in the video than I expected. Um, but this was until we got it cleared out. This 2 minute video was all the time that was able to spend in there. I've seen a lot of stuff. I've seen dead bodies and all of that, and this was top 5 worst and probably top 2 smell. The only thing that could compete is we had a sewer backup that literally spewed 3 feet of raw sewage into the basement. And that was the worst. So with all that, now that I've got you all prepped on going, hey, let's do pets. We're going to go through some of the statistics. I didn't want to do them on a slide. Like I said, I wanted to just kind of go through and have a more open discussion on pets versus not pet friend, like pets. What are you concerned about? What's your fear? So, 72% of tenants or residents report that finding pet friendly is hard to find. As you saw, I mean, that owner is like, I don't want pets. And I'm like, well, you don't want them to begin with. Like they were unauthorized. All pet owners, 98% considering their pets to be important members of their family, so it's just hard for them to give up. 67% of US households now own one pet at least. And so as that number goes higher, because the majority of those are now the Gen Z and millennials, and as less people are able to afford to buy a home, we're going to have more people renting that have animals. 2.5 million rental properties right now house unapproved pets, which is a lot. They're going to sneak them in. We try to do everything we possibly can. I think we catch unfortunately, a very small number of the unauthorized pets. But with that, they do that because they want pets, they want the ownership, and so we've just got to figure out. This is just one of those problems that we just try to figure out how to hide. The other big thing that I love is residents of pet-friendly housing stay 21% longer than those that don't have pets. So you're able to keep potentially a good tenant for a little bit longer, and then the pet owners are able to pay an increased rent or willing to pay an increased rent. So you're able to make a little bit more money, and then you're able to broaden your tenant pool. So let me walk you through some of the protections that we have in place for you and things that we do. And then we'll open it up to questions, conversations. And if there's not a whole lot, then we can turn over to Brady so he can talk about some of the pet-friendly product that we've used in the rentals and kind of talk about the pricing, different things like that. And since this is the last presentation, we can go as long or as short as you guys would like. So first off, about 7 years ago, we partnered with a company called PetScreening.com when it was very small. So all of our pets, whether they're emotional support animals or not, they have to fill out a pet profile. If it's an emotional support animal, then that company does all the screening to make sure that they're actually legit. All the paperwork's there, so me and my staff don't have to worry about asking the wrong question and getting sued. That company is large enough they actually consult with HUD on a lot of their regulations, so they know the ins and outs of what they can and can't ask, what the regulations are, and they've actually saved a lot of our properties over the years because they're like, nope, that doesn't fit the criteria, so you only get this, and here's what it is. So either fix it or it's not allowed, and that takes the burden off of us. If it's not an ESA, a lot of the residents have enjoyed that because they're able to upload all of their vaccines and immunization records, which are needed when they need to board the animal somewhere. So it's just on a profile. My staff loves it because, like I said, we're animal lovers. So I won't know a pet profile comes through, and all of a sudden I'll hear one of the girls like, "Oh, look at this dog," and so it's great fun for our office and help boost morale. So that's like their favorite part. The other thing is, so in order, if it's not an ESA, if a property is pet friendly for us, we charge an additional 10% a month pet rent. So just for easy math, if the rent is $1,000, we charge an additional $100 a month. So it's an additional $1,200 a month in revenue. And with additional protections and stuff that we'll go through, that for the most part turns into just additional revenue stores, and they're able to stay longer, and life is good. So the last thing we do, last year we talked about, okay, sorry, mailman came in. The last thing that we do, and last year we introduced it, was the lease guard security deposit alternative, but they also have a tenant liability policy. So as part of that tenant liability policy that they pay, there's a $500 lease or pet damage that you can make a claim on. So with that, this is the math to protect your property. So in the welcome, we talked about how we're still continuing the 1.5 times the rent. So you have a $1,500 deposit plus a $500 claim that we can make against lease guys. So that gives you $2,000 protection. Plus, with the additional revenue from that, if there are issues, you now have at $1,000 rent, $3,200 that you're able to work with to protect. Which, if the unit is $1,000, like $3,200 is going to cover any new flooring, most of the damage, where we do the inspections, and if there's issues, like all our vendors know, like if they see a pet, they always ask, "Hey, did you know this has a pet?" And so we can look and see. Because the one time, usually when we catch them is two ways. One, our vendor goes in and says, "Hey, do you have a pet?" Because they don't think that the vendors will tell us. And then two is if we just have to stop by and check on something, and a dog's barking or a cat's meowing, and we're like, "I don't think this is here." So that's how we protect our property. There are some of the opportunities that are available to you, and some of the incentives to make your properties more pet friendly. Any questions or concerns on any of that or anything that I brought up about allowing pets, about not allowing pets?
Does SUU have rules about allowing pets?
No, they don't. They don't care on housing. So, I mean, the only time we're forced to do something is if it's an emotional support animal. Those we can't turn down, and we can't charge additional rent or deposit for them.
I understand that, but what I'm asking is, does SUU housing have restrictions on the type of animals that they allow?
They don't like, so in their housing, they're not pet friendly. It's just the ESAs that they're forced to allow. So, but all off campus is just made, within the other regulations through HUD and stuff. And then if someone chooses to make something pet friendly or not, we have with some of our student housing, there's some of them, they have absolutely no carpet. It's all hardwood. And so if someone has a pet that's not an ESA and it has a huge backyard, that's way cool, then that's kind of our designated pet friendly unit. Any other questions? And okay. So with that, Brady, I'll turn it over to you and kind of walk through some of the product that you have and what you've used.
Yeah. Oh, thanks for having me come on. So I was just thinking as you were going through all those pets and showing some of those videos, pets are, we have a love-hate relationship with pets because they're our job security, right? We get a lot of jobs because of people having pets and they destroy floors. But I would say if you are considering having pets, that you go hard surface. Because then if the dog pees, number one, you can see that it's done its business on the floor a lot easier. If it's carpet, it hides. You can't always tell if a dog just finds a corner and goes to the bathroom. And hopefully you'd be able to smell it soon, but sometimes tenants, yeah, anyway, but we can manage that. So I would say I'm just going to start with carpet real quick. The carpet that we put in, most of it is what's called a solution dyed product. So I went a couple months ago, went back to the actual factory and saw the carpet being made and produced, and the way they extrude and make the carpet is done in such a way that it's very uh, clean. It has good properties for cleaning it, and it doesn't stain very easy. So we can use on a lot of these solution dyed products, you can actually use pretty strong cleaners on the carpet and it won't pull color out. It won't cause what they call spotting where things come out. So that's the best thing is that we have good technology with the carpet to where if you did happen to have a pet that does its business on the floor and you wanted to use more than just water to clean it up, there are some these carpets that can handle some of these cleaners. Even some of them will go as far as to warranty using a cleaner with bleach. And we actually have used carpet samples here and tested it out. And surprisingly, it did not cause any spotting. It was pretty cool to see. Um, so I guess that is one in regards to pets, that's one area that can give you a little bit of security that you can use some stronger cleaners on your carpet. I'm not saying that you dump bleach on there. That's not what I'm suggesting, but that you maybe could use some of something that has a little bit better cleaner. Because even in a pet household where the pets are good, you're still going to have accidents, you're still going to have things. I mean, I have 6 kids, which is basically like having dogs, and they spill all over the carpet and puke and who knows what else, right? And it's nice knowing that I can clean the carpet with some other stronger chemicals and not worry about damaging or ruining the carpet. Does anybody have any questions about the carpet? I would say legitimately though, if you are planning on allowing pets, probably avoid putting carpet in there. Just do hard surface. Um, the hard surface that we typically do, we have a couple of options. We have LVP, which is the term that everybody knows it by, luxury vinyl plank. Comes in 2 different types. It comes in a click together where it's a floating application, so it all just click locks together, and it's not glued down anywhere. Floating floor. It is pretty hardy, easy to take care of. I mean, if there's spills and those kind of things, they clean up very easy. There's one myth I want to bust though with when it comes to the floating LVP floors. They are not like a pool. When people say are they waterproof, they sometimes are thinking, is it like a swimming pool? Could my house flood and I don't have any issues? The answer is no. And the reason is with a floating floor, you have to leave expansion around the perimeter of the room, and that expansion is needed because the floor has to kind of float and be able to move. Well, if you get a lot of water in the unit, it's going to go to the side, go down and get underneath the floor. And the only way to clean up water that's trapped underneath the floor is to remove the floor. And so when it says it's a waterproof flooring, it means, can I wet mop it? Absolutely. Can I spill my large what is your drink of choice, Derek? Is it Diet Coke? I can't remember what you are. No, you're a Mountain Dew
I'm,
guy, aren't you?
I'm Mountain Dew or Pepsi.
Mountain Dew. Yeah, I
Nothing
can.
diet. Come on, nothing diet.
Okay, yeah, same here, buddy. I can spill my Mountain Dew all over and not have it be an issue, right? Or those kind of things. That's what it means, waterproof. It does not mean your dishwasher can break and the unit can flood and your floor's fine, right? In order to mitigate the water damage, you have to take out the flooring. So unfortunately, Truly the only floor that could withstand a flood like that would be maybe a tile floor if you went with tile. I don't know, Derek, you can kind of guide me. I'm just going all over the place here, but tile, if you were looking for a floor that you're gonna have to that you could put in a rental unit and not touch for 20 years, you could do a tile, because if it's done right, done well, it'll withstand pretty much whatever you throw at it. In that video of that really gross doghouse, was that a tile floor?
In the main areas, it was tile, and
And were you able to just clean it?
we were able to have to do some severe cleaning of the grout and then
Yeah,
seal it. But yeah, so I was able to clean, and they were able to salvage the tile.
yeah. So upfront cost on tile is just, quite a bit more, but it is a long term floor. You can put it in and 30 years later still be fine. The nice thing about the LVP floors that we use, they're water resistant, waterproof. If something does happen to it, the cost to replace it is not astronomical, and it can be done fairly quickly within a day. Oftentimes we can rip out, and very minimal. It's not intrusive. I mean, you do have to pop your baseboards off, sometimes touch up paint on baseboards and things like that, but overall, a fairly easy process to replace that flooring. There's also a glue down option, which we use a lot of times in rental units. So where we would go with a glue down LVP would be in a unit where you fear that there could be a lot of damage, heavy use. And so with the click lock system, I'll try my best to use my hands to describe it, but you basically, every board is clicked together, right? So if you have a board in the middle of the room that you need to replace, you often have to start at the wall and remove the floor to that piece, replace that piece, and then reinstall out to the wall. With a glue down option, you can literally pull up the plank in the middle of the room and then replace that plank. And it's kind of nice for that reason. Um, the only downside to a glue down is because they're not interlocked together, those joints aren't necessarily watertight, so uh, the potential for spills or things like that to get down in the floor. Now, it's not going to ruin the floor per se, but it could create some areas where there could, some things could get trapped if it wasn't super clean. But those are kind of some of the floors that we're going to use in your rental units. We stock the thing that I think that's kind of won Derek over and has helped our relationship is the fact that we keep on hand a number of floors that we can just grab at a moment's notice. So Derek can call us up and say, "Hey, I've got a unit that's just become vacant. When can you get us on the schedule?" And we're not saying, "Hey, we got to order this floor. It's going to be 3 weeks before we get the floor and whatnot." We can say, "We got something in stock right now. We have an opening in 2 days. Let's jump on it." And we stock both click LVP, glue down LVP, 4 or 5 different carpets, just tons of options. Because we know for renters, time is money. The faster you can get that unit turned around, the faster you can get on the market, get it rented out, make money. And that's kind of what Derek was alluding to, where we've been able to save customers or tenants money, is the fact that we've been able to help them get that unit turned around so they can get an extra month's rent. Right, Derek? I think that's happened a few times, right?
Yeah, you've been able to move quickly to get stuff installed, and then, like I said, you've been bid against just about everyone, and you always come out cheaper. So
Yeah. Yeah, we understand, you don't want to spend an arm and a leg to try to get these turned around, but that's kind of it. I don't know if you guys have any questions for me. I could bore you with all kinds of stuff, but I think the reality is, that's what we're here for. We're here to help you have a nice uh, unit that can, be a good rental and help you when you need some new flooring. And I'll be honest, sometimes I'll even take a look at something and say, yeah, you know what, I don't think you need to replace this at this point. I think we can, get by with. I've talked myself out of a few jobs because I'm looking out for the interest of the landlord. If the carpet's just got a few spots and we think we can maybe fix it, restretch it, clean it, that kind of stuff, I'm not going to jump all over and say, yeah, let's just replace it. Sometimes there are situations where that has to be the case. If you've got a unit where some cats have peed all over, yeah, you're probably better off just tearing out the carpet and pad and replacing it. But there are situations where we'll just go ahead and recommend that you just clean the carpets or something like that as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Brady.
Yeah.
Is there any other questions for me or Brady? When we send out it, once the conference is uploaded, I'll also include a link to the pet inclusive report so that you guys have that data as well. So thank you with that. If there's no other questions on anything else, I can let you go back to the rest of your day. I appreciate you coming to the conference. Like I said, it's my favorite thing that I do every year. I start working on it really about April and May, trying to figure stuff out and put it together. So I'm just grateful for everyone that attended, and appreciate you guys trusting me with your properties, and for everything. So, and with that, I got to give one last shout out. Well, one shout out to say thanks to Sarah. She works for Filmer PR, the PR company that I use to help me with a bunch of stuff. Like she manhandled this thing herself and all the back end stuff. She has been amazing. So thank you for that, Sarah. And then, but yeah, so with that, I once again, thanks again. And let me know if you have any other questions and we'll get this to you here in the next couple of weeks. So thanks.
Thanks, Derek. See you guys.